Okay, good morning, everyone. Hello, and welcome to another session of 30 Minutes with. This is Downtown Spokane's recurring webinar series in which we bring to you local community leaders and industry experts to talk about some of the more pressing topics of the day. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Kevin Campbell, and I am the Business Relations Coordinator for the Downtown Spokane Partnership and Business Improvement District. And today I have the pleasure of introducing our featured presenter, Nate Bryant. So Nate is the director of the Career Center at Eastern Washington University. And today he's going to be talking with us about opportunities that your business or organization has to engage with student community and how that can lead to a lot of great mutual benefit for all the parties involved. So in a moment, I'll pass things over to Nate. If you have any questions during the presentation, please feel free to just enter them into the chat box and we'll queue them up and get to them when we're finished with the prepared portion of things. And we'll also take some time at the end to open things up to a Q&A in case you'd like to take yourself off of mute and have the chance to ask Nate some questions then. So I'll also note that we do record these sessions, so you will be able to reference this content as well as all of the sessions we've done in the past on our YouTube channel for @Downtown Spokane. So we'll be making that available afterwards online or after this session. So with that, Nate, I'll go ahead and turn things over to you if you're ready. Thanks for being here with us today. We appreciate you taking the time and we look forward to everything you have to share with us.
Awesome. Thank you very much. I appreciate the opportunity to do this. Getting in front of the community and talking about experiences and how we all can work together to help our students is certainly a passion of mine. So I'm definitely really eager to do this. I don't want to bore anybody. I'm usually not a PowerPoint sort of person, but I did put one together for this just to help guide the conversation. So let me cue that up real quick and share it with everyone. All right. So I hope you can, are you seeing that, Kevin? Does that seem to
be? We are, yeah. We can kind of see, we see your next slide set up, but we can't see your slide.
You know what? I'm just gonna roll with it. I'm just gonna roll with it here. So I'll just jump right into this. Applied experiences. Serving students in our community. So I like to call it applied experiences. I think a lot of people, they'll say internships or practicums or things like that. Generally, we're talking about the same thing. What I really want to get to is that there are a lot of ways to help our students develop in this way, and there's a lot of benefits for the community by offering these types of experiences for students. And I just want to run through that with you a little bit so that we can maybe, broaden our perspective and then hopefully get you on board to participating. And, of course, I would love for you all to come out here and support what we're doing at Eastern Washington University. But I just think students in general in our community, this is certainly support that they need and want. And so together we can accomplish that. So let's just dive right into it. I'll quickly do an overview of the Career Center and the work that we do. I think that's important. We're definitely a great point of contact for the community if you'd like to start this conversation. So I'll just run through that, and then we'll jump right into what I mean when I say an applied experience, and then why applied experiences can and should be supported by the community and what benefits that affords to you. So the Career Center team, as you can see from this, it's a fairly small group, right? We have just 8 folks consisting of our office manager, myself, our associate director, and then what I would consider our more frontline folks. So we have our career advising team, which consists of 4 individuals there. We're currently recruiting for our advisor for the business programs. But really, they're the ones out there, doing those one-on-one appointments with the students. They're the ones partnering with faculty in these programs to offer workshops, club classroom presentations, and that sort of thing. And then, of course, we have Ramel, who is our internship coordinator. Not all internships are run through him, but I would say a large number of them are. And so he just helps facilitate that process. He helps provide students in the community with guidance on, what it means to offer an internship, what those expectations are, just basically the full administrative process for an internship. And if you want to find out more about us, you can always go to our website. We have a wealth of information and resources there about us, but then also just resources in general that are open to the public in terms of, cover letters, resume, application, best practices, mock interview, best practices and support, that sort of thing. So even if you're not a student at Eastern Washington University and you're curious about getting that sort of support, I hope that you visit our webpage and, put it to use. All right, so this is just a slide that I really like to share. It's a snapshot, right? It's a snapshot of the services that we do provide. I often hear people say, hey, go to the Career Center, they'll help you with your resume, or go to the Career Center, they'll help you find a job. But it's really so much more than that. Our mission is to help students bridge the gap between education and professional careers. We want them to be successful after they graduate because we know that leads to great things. And so I think this just gives you a good look at all the different ways and points at which, we help influence that experience for those students. And really, I mean, it begins with major and career exploration. So if they don't know what they want to do when they graduate, or what majors fit their goals, their career goals, we can help talk them through that. So starting from there all the way through, salary severance negotiation. If an alum is applying for a promotion and wants support in that area, they can always come back to us and seek that support, because we, our services are available for life. All right, so what is an applied experience? As I said, I think most people, when they hear that word, are, think, oh, internships, we're going to offer an internship, but it is so much more than that. So when you think about an applied experience, I want you to frame it around, it is first and foremost a learning opportunity. And so students that take advantage of those opportunities, it gives them a chance to explore professional industries and interests, gain professional development, directly apply skills and theories learned in the class, and then, improve their academic learning. So what does that mean when I say that? Exploring the professional industries and interests. How many students show up here and don't really know what it is that they want to study, or what they want to do when they graduate, or they do have an idea of what they want to study, they just don't know what that means when they graduate. Okay, well, I like this sort of field. How do I apply that to a career, right? What sort of careers are in line with that kind of a major? So we can help them tease that out earlier, so that they don't get to, for example, get to their senior year and then suddenly realize through an internship, or even just a mentoring opportunity, that, gosh, that is not really in line with my goals, my interests. This is not work that I want to do. And then they've wasted a ton of time and money and essentially have to start over again, or even worse, they're stuck in a profession that they don't like. So getting these applied experiences early allow them to tease that out much earlier in the process and make adjustments so that they're not set up for failure. Gaining professional development, we all need professional development, throughout our entire professional career, but helping them get that experience earlier is profound, right? Like, many of our students, more than half of them are first generation. They have no idea what it means to work in a professional environment, to go work in an office setting. And so giving them exposure to that really sets them up to say, okay, I know what to expect, and what the expectations of me are going to be when I start that first full-time job. Directly applying the skills and theories learned in class. I don't know about you all, but when I was going through school, there came a point where I thought, oh my gosh, really? Why are we learning this? Or why are we doing X, Y, Z? Well, getting an internship, going out and doing a job shadow or volunteering in the community, it allows them to see that, man, the things that I am learning, the things that the faculty member keep talking to us about, they're applicable, right? And I literally was able to apply those lessons and those theories in this work that I was just doing, which, for a lot of our students, for myself as well, being able to do that allowed me to go back to my classes, go back to my lessons with this renewed motivation, this renewed sense of, man, this is really important, and this is something that I should be paying attention to and really try to understand in a more robust way. So we're hoping that, showing them that what they're learning is important allows them and encourages them to come back to the classroom, eager to learn more and to dive into those studies a little bit deeper. So what is an applied experience? This is by no means exhaustive, but it is a good sample of what could be an experience. So a gig-turnship, we're just talking about short-term project work, maybe like a contract. A lot of folks do this, for software sort of work or marketing, that kind of thing. Those opportunities are good. The only thing about that, I like to throw that out there as an experience builder, but at the same time, just acknowledge that it doesn't really usually come along with mentorship, right? There's not a lot of guidance. The type of people who typically take those gigs are already pretty skilled at what they're doing and able to accomplish the work that needs to be done. Obviously, research, volunteerism, project work, personal or professional project work, internships. I just sandwiched that in there because it is just a small component of the experience options. job shadows, community engagement, and then even relevant and specific part-time jobs. So a lot of students don't think about it in that way, but if you have part-time jobs, maybe in an office setting or, something that's really just supplemental sort of entry-level work, those are great for our students. It gives them that exposure and it allows them to find part-time work that's more applicable to maybe their career paths once they graduate. So what does this mean for you, right? I think that's always in the back of people's minds, some ROI. And so there is great benefit to offering these sorts of opportunities to students. So when you partner with us to offer an applied experience, or you just, create those experiences on your own and offer them to students, it really improves student success rates, right? Showing them that there is a path forward, helping them apply the lessons that they're learning. It really helps them visualize that finish line. And then once they do graduate, it's far more likely, if they have these experiences under their belt, that they're going to find the right first job, which, I think a lot of people become overly concerned with just finding a job, which is important. But in my experience, it's been more important that they find the right first job to set them up for a very positive career path. So offering that does help improve that. It also connects students with our community. I know that's a big challenge that we have here, is keeping students in our community. We develop them, we train them, and then they tend to leave the area for Seattle or Portland, wherever it may be. And we're training them here. We want them to stay here. We want them to contribute to our community. And so when they get to come out and, experience some of these things at your site, with your employees, interacting with your folks, I think that really gives them a sense of connection, and it's encourages them just to stay in this community and continue to contribute there. It's an easy way to affordably invest in our future. Maybe you don't have, thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars just to donate to a university or to a particular training program, but offering a part-time job that's a benefit to your organization, or offering an internship with a small stipend, partnering with a class to, say, offer a certain project or project work. It's a very affordable way for your organization or you as an individual to help invest in the future of these students in our community. It helps you develop brand recognition on campus. So that's something I think a lot of companies struggle with. Students, of course, gravitate to individuals and organizations that they recognize and know. And so, the more that you interact with us and we interact with you, the more likely it is that you'll be talked about on campus, the more likely that you'll be thought of when opportunities come up. And so it just really helps you develop that brand so that you can, be a first thought for students and our faculty and staff as these opportunities arise. And then it also allows you to influence the educational process and lessons learned. And I know that sounds kind of big, but one of the things that I'm most proud of about working here at Eastern is that, the lessons that we impart on our students are not solely based in theory. We have a very hands-on and practical approach. And I've heard from countless recruiters that they love coming to Eastern. They love recruiting our students because when they start, they're ready to hit the ground running, right? They have a lot of this hands-on experience, and they've been able to apply the lessons they've learned. And so they really don't need as much ramp up time, right? Whereas students maybe from other institutions would have to come in, and you're talking about, 6 to 12 months of training before they're ready to start really putting in some work. Whereas our students, for the most part, are ready just to hit the ground running, with maybe a little bit less training involved. All right, and then so connecting with us, if you're interested or curious about providing some of these opportunities or the opportunities that exist, you can certainly connect with us. My contact information is up there. I'm always open to talk with you. Ramel Watson, he's our internship coordinator. He is a phenomenal resource, and so he's actually the one who helped me cultivate this applied experience list and helps me talk to leadership around campus with it. He's just been doing this for the entirety of his, I think, 10 years here on campus. And so he is just super well versed. He knows all the in and outs of providing these opportunities, and he's an awesome resource for you. If you just have general questions about posting jobs or, maybe connecting with the Career Center, you can shoot us an email at careers@ew.email or EW. And then 2 extra resources on here I just want to talk about. Handshake is a really cool career management tool. It's used by most of the schools in the state of Washington. It's a really robust platform that allows you to post jobs and internships. It allows you to post and host events of your own. It also allows you to connect with events that we're hosting. And one of the biggest benefits is that it's free for employers. The schools pay for it. So you make an account as an employer, and then when you go in there, you can literally post all of your jobs or your events at all of these different schools with just one shot. So it just really streamlines that for you. And the second resource is the Washington Workforce Portal, another phenomenal resource for our community. Right now, it's very specific to internships, but we've been working closely with them, and I know they've been working with GSI as well. And they're really developing this into a more experiential learning platform where the community and students can get together on here and really just share all of these experiential opportunities that they have and help students connect in this really simple way. It's certainly not as robust as Handshake, but if you're looking at just, hey, I just have an internship I want to post, or I just have a job shadow opportunity I want to share with students and I want to connect with them, this is a fantastic way to do it. So I would definitely encourage you to check out both of those resources. All right.
All right, thanks for that, Nate. We appreciate all that. So now it sounds like a great time. If anyone does have any questions, feel free to take yourself off mute and do that. We'd love to hear from you. Just to get us started, Nate, would you mind just talking a little bit more in depth about what the process kind of is like if a company or organization were to reach out to your department? Just as far as any inquiries, you know, like we said, it doesn't necessarily have to be full-blown internships, but is there any sort of consultation they can do with you if they do have questions on, you know, what might be something you're willing to kind of partner up with them to do?
Oh, absolutely. You know, we always start with a conversation, right? We usually kick it off with a lot of questions, you know, about what you're trying to accomplish, you know, what you could reasonably offer, and then, you know, what your goals are ultimately, right? Are you hoping to cultivate a certain group of students or connect with those students? Is it more of a big picture that would be open to anybody else? We really want to make sure that it's a good and positive fit for you so that it's a positive experience for our students. And so we'll sort of talk to you about all of those different aspects and then tease out, okay, are we talking about an internship, a job? Are we looking at something that would maybe be quarterly or, you know, an annual offering? Are we talking about just a one-off opportunity or something that maybe would consistently happen year over year? That's really the conversation we would have with you. We just want to make sure that we have all the information and a clear idea of what you're trying to accomplish and what you can reasonably offer so that we can help you set up the best possible situation.
Excellent. Thanks for that. So
Sure.
Do we have any other questions for Nate? And I'll throw another out there for you, Nate, but just can you speak a little bit more to, are there any specific parameters as far as what needs to be offered from, you know, an organization or a business as far as, do these have to be paid opportunities? Do they need to start, you know, do they need to align with the start of any, you know, school period, or can they be over the summer? Is there anything like that that needs to be taken into account?
Yeah, so that's a great question, and one we get really often. So a lot of folks do think that it has to be aligned exactly with our, you know, our quarters or semesters for some of the other schools, and that's not necessarily true. So I would say we definitely want to offer these things at a time that that works for your team. And I wouldn't say that it needs to be married to, you know, the beginning of this quarter and the end of that quarter, right? So if an internship, for example, because that's the easiest thing to talk about, if an internship is best started in the middle of a quarter, that's completely fine, right? We can figure that out. We can work with you to set that up. So I wouldn't see that as a barrier. Like I said, we want to make sure that it's a good opportunity for everybody, and we want to remove some of those barriers. So it certainly doesn't have to be aligned that way. In terms of pay, you know, we certainly encourage at least some form of payment, even if it is just a stipend. And the reason that we do that is for twofold, right? A lot of our students are giving up some sort of a part-time job or, you know, just an employment opportunity to take an internship. And so for them, there is that added cost to it. So if they're losing that income, any sort of stipend or income that you can offer to supplement that is super, super helpful. Furthermore, I think it really does show value for what they are offering. So, any of these are, of course, like I said, we're talking about learning opportunities, right? We want to help develop these students and help them learn about, what you're doing and the work that they would hopefully be doing once they graduate. But at the same time, we want them to contribute to the work that's being done by your organization. And they will, right? They'll come there with fresh ideas. They'll come there motivated. They'll come there ready to work hard for you. And so recognizing that with some sort form of, income, like I said, it doesn't necessarily have to be a set, hourly wage. It can definitely be a stipend. Again, we would, as a part of that process about what you want to offer, we would talk to you again about what's reasonable and what would be a good fit for what you're trying to accomplish.
Excellent.
Mhm.
And so I noticed on an earlier slide, you had some things listed like the employer etiquette event. And
Yeah.
so that made me curious, are there, so we've done a lot of talking about how businesses and organizations can bring students to them for opportunities, but
Yeah.
are there any ways that businesses or organizations can engage with your department as far as events, or just ways that they can bring, their professionalism to your students?
Absolutely. So we offer these all the time. In fact, I'm right in the middle of a conversation with Insight Diagnostics. They reached out to me with a very similar question and said, "Hey, what are ways that we can, reach your students? We can get them involved. We can be involved on campus, but then also bring them out to our sites." And so what we did, I helped them get set up on Handshake. We helped promote a few of their offerings that they had. And then I was able to also connect them with a few of the events that we'll be offering so they can come get involved on campus. But then I did some introductions with a few of our faculty members and more in our more engaged student clubs that aligned with their needs. And by doing that, both of those student clubs, they were really eager to connect. So now the recruiter or HR supervisor for their site is going to actually come and speak to one of the student clubs at one of their next member meetings. And then the other club, our Women in Science club, is actually going to go visit at their site and go out there and do a tour. So I just think there are so many different ways to get involved. Again, it comes down to what you can reasonably offer and what you're trying to accomplish. But what I would say is just keep an open mind and don't really necessarily eliminate anything. Just have a conversation with us about what you're trying to do, and we'll talk to you about what those opportunities are and what we think is the best fit.
Great. All right. I'll leave pause here for any other questions. And Nate, is there anything else you'd just like to tag on to everything you said? I mean, a lot of wonderful information here, but
Yeah.
any other things you may have left out?
Absolutely. So I guess if I'm going to, leave with just one final thought, it's this, that I know I completely understand, the situation that we're all living in right now. It seems like everybody's in the middle of a staffing shortage. Everybody's like, being stretched really thin. Providing these opportunities may seem a little bit more difficult than normal. And they seem difficult anyway, even in the best of circumstances, right? But I hope that although that might seem like a barrier to you all, if you've even thought about this or you're interested in providing these kinds of opportunities or getting involved with a campus, just reach out and have a conversation with us, right? We can talk you through it. I don't think it's as scary as a lot of people think it is. It's an incredibly organized process, most of these things. And especially if you partner with some of our faculty, I mean, they'll really open some doors for you and take care of a lot of that work so that, it's not quite as daunting. So I would just say, if you have hesitation, you know what, just caution to the wind, take that first step, reach out to us and at least start a conversation, because we definitely want to meet you. We want to meet you. We want to get involved with you. We want you involved with our campus. Eastern Washington University, this is our community. We live here. The majority of our students stay here. They're from here. We are very, very invested in what's happening here. And so we would love your involvement.
That's great. Yeah, I'd say that's one of my biggest takeaways. Is I think it's easy to think about these opportunities as having to be, multiple month-long internships, but really there's a lot of opportunity to just do a lot more kind of isolated work, but that still benefits, both sides of getting the students great experience and you kind of getting something out of that as well.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Perfect. Thanks. Well, Nate, we appreciate you coming on and talking with us today. So great to hear all of this. For anyone who's interested in upcoming sessions of 30 Minutes With, just keep an eye on our website, downtownspokane.org, where we do have a list of our upcoming series there, and you can also reference past sessions because we do record those as well, as I mentioned before. Our next session will be on October 28th, also Thursday, with Cindy Donahue from Ignite Northwest, and she'll be presenting on the resources and programs her organization offers to help with startups and entrepreneurs. So looking forward to that. So thanks to everyone for joining us. If you're not part of our newsletter and want to be, just you can sign up for that on downtownspokane.org too. And we have updates about these sessions and a lot of other ongoings here downtown. So thank you again for everything for joining us. And thank you, Nate, for coming on. We appreciate it, and hope everyone has a great rest of the day.
Thanks, everyone. Go Eags.